Alright, so if you're watching this video, then this is probably you. You found a winning book topic, you went through the entire book creation process creating an awesome book, maybe you even gathered some review points with sites like Book Bounty or Puppy, you got your book ready to go live, you published it on Amazon, and then you're stuck with the fact that you now have to run Amazon ads and you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea how to set the campaigns up, find the right keywords to target, and even if you have set up some campaigns already, you probably have no idea how to actually go in and see the performance of those keywords you targeted. So I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on Amazon ads, and I've earned probably over $200,000 at this point with Amazon KDP and Audible. And I've also helped hundreds of people one-to-one with their KDP businesses. And what I'm about to show you in this video is all you need to know to effectively advertise your book through Amazon ads. This video is meant to cut out the Amazon advertising noise and fast track you to setting up Amazon ad campaigns that actually perform. I promise you, if you're new to Amazon ads, you don't need some complex strategy. You need to understand how they're supposed to work and the job that they're doing. So before we actually set up our campaigns, there is a very important thing that we have to go over, and that is that what do we want from our book? And so our goal when we publish a book to Amazon, regardless if it's a low content book, a high content book, or anything in between, is we want to get our book to, of course, sell, and most importantly, be profitable at the end of every month. So how do we do this? And how we're going to do this is very simple. We're going to get our book ranking on page 1 of our main search term where all the organic traffic and customers are. And so when you publish a book to Amazon, it's most likely going to be on page 7 or above, not getting seen by anybody. And it's our job to prove to Amazon that our book deserves to be ranking in the top spots. And like I said, that's where all the organic traffic is, which is the ideal place to be. And so in this video, we are going to, of course, understand the job of our Amazon ads in achieving this. We're going to learn the foundation of our Amazon ads and what that is as a beginner. We, of course, are going to get into what campaigns to set up for maximum profit and minimum spend and why we're doing that. And most importantly, how to actually analyze them after you get some data. Because many people don't actually understand how to go into their campaigns, see how they're performing, see what keywords it's targeting, and what to do after the fact to make sure that they are going to be stable for the long term. So let's get into it. So the most important thing to understand when it comes to actually advertising books on Amazon is that our Amazon ads are doing a job. Their goal is solely to get your book ranking high in your desired search term so it gets seen by the organic traffic searching it up. And then, of course, to keep it there so it stays getting seen by this traffic. And one of the most important things to take in from this video is that you can have unprofitable Amazon ad campaigns and still make thousands of dollars of profit every month. And when you have this specific goal in mind and you understand that this is what your Amazon ads are doing, you're going to do everything else in your business differently and you're going to see way different results if you weren't. And so what will make you quit and never have any results with Amazon KDP is running ads and expecting them to bring in all your sales and just suddenly be profitable. If you're new to Amazon ads, please don't expect this, as it's very unlikely. There's only a few scenarios where your Amazon ads will be very profitable, and that is when you are in a very high demand topic with low competition, or if you have hundreds of book reviews. But as a beginner, you're not going to be at that point yet, and we're just going to be setting ourselves up for failure if we're expecting this. But if we're expecting to get our book ranking high, our strategy will be different, and you're going to see way different results. And so the foundation of our Amazon ad campaigns for someone who has never done them before or they're brand new to them is to create the lowest spending, highest performing campaigns possible, and then get our book ranking high as fast as possible so we can get those organic sales. And the campaigns that we're going to be setting up today is based off of this foundation. And so if you're just launching your book, if you haven't really run Amazon ads at all yet, there's a few things you can do to increase this likelihood. The first one is to, of course, when you publish your book, run a free promo. I do have a full video on my book launch strategy, which I will link below. When your book is on a free promo, you can get reviews for it. We ideally don't want to start advertising to our book until we have at least around 20, and then of course push to 100. That does seem like a lot, but when you do prepare properly for your launch, it's not that hard. I do cover that in my book launch video. And what you can also do is have your book discounted. So if your book is brand new, definitely discount it for the first 30 days roughly, but just be competitive with your market and make sure it is a noticeable discount. This is going to basically cause a bunch of impulse buys, make your ads convert very well, and just get your book ranking high faster. So now what exactly are the campaigns that we're going to be creating today? So we're not going to be doing an automatic campaign. This is when Amazon will select where your book goes. The reason being is that we want to preserve our budget, and sometimes these campaigns can go a bit too wide and don't bring in the best results. So if you do have a decent budget for your Amazon ads, then definitely throw an automatic campaign up. But the main campaigns that we're going to be doing is our manual product campaign and a manual keyword campaign. This is very simple. All we're going to be doing is targeting relevant products in our space, in our keyword, and then targeting relevant keywords. And so, of course, I'm going to dive into exactly how to set these up in a second, but we're going to keep them very simple. We're just going to make sure that we are doing exact targeting. Just the topics that we select is what we're going to target. We're going to do anywhere from 1 to 5 of the best-selling books in our space. We're going to make sure our bidding strategy is down only so it never spends more than the bid that we set to keep our costs as low as possible. We're going to start them at $5 a day. So I will leave a link below to my complete SOP for my Amazon ad campaign setup. It's going to walk you through step by step exactly how to set these campaigns up, literally click by click. And of course, you're going to watch me do this in a second, but having that resource can be very valuable just to refer back to. And same thing with our keyword campaign is we're going to be targeting phrase and exact keywords. So this means it's going to target the exact keyword we put in, as well as it's going to move the phrase around and find some similar phrases without going too broad. Same thing, we're only going to target between 1 and 5 of our main search terms. From my experience, after selling thousands of books on Amazon, a majority of your sales will come from your main search term and your main product targets. So there's no sense in going too wide, especially if we want to preserve our budget and get the most out of our campaigns as a beginner. Same thing for our bidding strategy. We want to go down only, so Amazon will not spend more than what we select. Then we can start at $5 a day. And so with these two campaigns, basically, if it spends the $5 per day for both campaigns, it's going to be around $300 for the month. And the important thing to know about Amazon ads is you're only spending money when people click on your ad. And so you can show it to as many people as possible. It's not going to spend any money, but the second somebody clicks on it, it spends that bid amount. And of course, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, we will dive in, set the campaigns up. It's going to make more sense. And so if you did do everything else correctly, you found an awesome topic, you created an awesome book, you're launching it properly, you have at least 50 to 100 reviews. If it's spending this $300, you definitely should see a return. It might not be fully break even, but most likely you will at least get some money back. So you're not going to be spending this 100% out of pocket. And if by this point you're just confused, overwhelmed, and you just want direct help from an expert with your Amazon KDP business, I will leave a link below to my coaching program. And you can just learn more about how it streamlines your Amazon KDP experience. So let's actually dive in and set these campaigns up. I'm going to keep it super simple and straightforward for you. And like I said, I do have the SOP document linked below. You can just go make a copy of that. It's going to walk you through click by click exactly how to set these campaigns up. So if you've never set up Amazon ads before, you're going to want to go to your KDP dashboard, go to the marketing tab in the top right, and then go to the Amazon ads little section here. And from there, you want to go to the Amazon.com marketplace and then click go to Amazon ads. You might have to make an account. And then once you're in there, we can go and set up our campaign. Step 1 is to click the button create campaign. From there, we go under sponsor products and click create campaign again. We're going to click standard ad and then select the book that we want to advertise to. Make sure that you are selecting the paperback option. For targeting, we're going to go manual targeting. For this, we're going to set up our keyword campaign. We can do this first. We're going to go under our suggested keyword. We're going to deselect broad. So it's just phrase and exact. We don't want to go too broad. From there, you can just click add on the phrase and exact of anywhere from 1 to 10 of your main keywords and search terms. We don't want to go too broad because, like I said, a majority of your sales will come from your main search terms. And because we want to get the most out of our Amazon ads, this is the best strategy to do this. You can keep the bids as the recommended bid that it provides, unless it's over $1.50. We don't want to be spending, $2 plus per click because it's very easy to have unprofitable campaigns when that's the case. But if we're only spending $1.05 per click, in this case, of course, if we're publishing high content and we have at least $6 royalty per sale, that's more than enough window to make some good profit. You can also enter the list of your main keywords here and add them like this if you did go to Amazon prior and search them up. For campaign bidding strategy, we're going to click dynamic bids down only. All this does is make sure that Amazon does not spend more than the bid we select. If we select up and down, it's going to spend up to 100% more for bids to win placements. But in this case, to be intentional with our spend, we're going to keep it so it doesn't do this. So you can leave bid adjustment blank, but if you do want to pull a bit more from your ads, you can change this to maybe 20%. This is just going to change your bid by 20% to win the top of search placement, which is essentially the best placement on the first page. So spending a bit more for that is usually okay. They have some new audiences here, but for now, because we're just getting started, we're going to forget about this. And from there, all we're going to do is name our campaign. I recommend having your book title and the exact campaign that it is. So in this case, I did book 1, manual keyword, exact, and phrase. Now we know exactly what book it's for, the type of campaign it is, and what exactly the targeting is. Because if I go and make a new campaign that is just exact targeting, I want to know that that's the campaign that it is. We can set no end date, and for your daily budget, you can of course start at $5 a day, depending on your budget. But if you do have a higher budget, I would recommend using the suggested daily budget because it's only going to bring in more traction. And then once you get some data over a few days or even a week, we can optimize from there. So now when it comes to set up your product targeting, everything's going to be the exact same except for this targeting section right here. We're going to change this to product targeting, of course. We're then going to go to individual products. We can ignore categories. They don't perform very well. We're going to deselect expanded and select exact. And now we're going to pick our main 5 to 10 best-selling books in our topic so we can advertise our book on their product page. So the only rule of thumb with this is we don't want to select books that have more than 500 reviews. It's going to be harder to convert those sales. However, if your book does have over 100 reviews, then basically any best-selling book should be fine. So go and search your keyword up and look at the main books that are ranking at the top. Most likely they will be similar with the ones that are here, but it is good to go and double check and make sure you target those. So we're simply going to add these here. There's going to be just one bid because it is exact targeting. And we can of course keep it at the suggested bid as long as it's a conservative number. And make sure that you are targeting the paperback books. You will see the ebooks here as well. It's mainly going to be determined by the price of them. Everything else stays the same, but of course we're going to change the name to Book 1, Manual Product, Exact. Because we're just targeting products and we're targeting the exact products, we're not going broad. Same thing, start at $5 a day, but if you do have a bit more budget but you don't know where to allocate it, the product campaigns are a great place to do this because they tend to convert very well. In my opinion, product campaigns sometimes convert better than keyword campaigns because you're targeting people who are already on books similar to yours that they're looking to buy. This is why we also want to make sure that what we are targeting is very exact. It's not similar to our topic. Let's only target the exact books that are directly on our topic and the best-selling ones in the space. This means it's directly related to our book and there's tons of traffic. And we simply click Launch Campaign. It will take a bit to moderate, but then once it's live, we can see it on our dashboard. And so why are these campaigns all that you really need? And so the important thing with these type of campaigns is that we are targeting our exact customer without going too wide. We're targeting the books that they're already buying. We're targeting the keywords that they're searching. And we're not going too broad and spending too much money because like I said before, a lot of your sales will come from these main search terms and products. We are of course limiting how much we're spending. We're being intentional with how we set these up, what we're targeting with our bids. So we're not just throwing money out there. And most importantly, if it starts to bring in sales, then we can start to increase budgets and experiment more with some broader campaigns. And of course, if our book is ranking high, getting organic sales, we have a bit of profit to play with. So now let's actually understand how to go into our campaigns after they're working and see what's going on. So there's a few metrics that we want to be able to understand. Of course, the first one is the click-through rate. This is the rate in which people are clicking on our ads. The second one is the cost per click, just to know how much we're spending per bid. And most importantly, the ACoS, which is the advertising cost of sales. And so all this is telling us is that people are clicking on our ad and how frequently they're doing so, and are our ads profitable? And if we can see that not many people are actually clicking on our ad from who's seeing it, then we can maybe update our cover to increase this. And we can also see if our ad's profitable, because if it's not, we can then adjust our bids or maybe try a different strategy. Of course, optimizing your product page and increasing your reviews will increase this as well, but that's a topic for another video. So now one of the most important metrics that you need to know when it comes to advertising on Amazon is your break-even ACoS. So this is the advertising cost of sales percentage that you need to hit to break even on your ads, then anything underneath that is profitable. And so it's very simple. Basically what you want to do is take your royalty of your book. How much do you make for each book? You want to divide it by the list price that your book is at, and you want to times it by 100. And so in this case, if our selling price is $14.99, our royalty per sale is $5.67, our break-even ACoS will be 37%. And so breaking even on our ads is not a 50% ACoS. It's whatever this number is. And so as you can see, 37% is by no means a high ACoS. It's actually quite on the lower end. And so to actually have very profitable campaigns that have good margins, we ideally want to have this ACoS close to 20%, which is very hard to get to. But if our expectation is different, if we're just expecting to create an awesome book and get it ranking high, then we're not going to care about this number as much because our book will be making organic sales from the traffic that's there. And that, in my opinion, is the best place to be. The person who can afford to spend the most on advertising will always win. And if we're crunching the numbers and having to pull everything we can from our ads, we're not going to have much fun. But if our book is making 60, 70% of its sales just from the organic traffic, and if this number changes around a bunch, you're not going to be too worried about it because you're in the green every month. So let's dive back into our Amazon Ads dashboard. And I'm going to show you how to actually find the data we want to look at and just see what's going on inside our campaign. So your ads dashboard will look something like this. You're going to see all your campaigns that you set up right here and some relevant information. If your columns look different than mine, we can of course change that right now. We can simply go to columns, go to customize columns. And now we're going to select the following. You can leave country status and type selected. We're not going to have portfolio or bidding strategy, but we do want our start date and end date just to kind of see that figure. Budget, we can actually select impressions as well. It's a good metric to see. We want top of search impression share, top of search bid adjustment. This is just if it adjusts our bid for the top of search placement, and if we did win that placement, what percentage of those placements are we winning? But the most important ones are going to be clicks, click-through rate, spend, cost per click, orders, sales, and of course, advertising cost of sales. Everything else you can leave blank. Click apply, and now we have these metrics here. So now to actually go and view our campaign data, it's very simple. We're going to click on the name of our campaign that we want to look at. We're going to click on our ad group. Once again, this blue text here. Now it's going to show the book underneath this ad group, and there's two important things you want to look at. The first one is targeting. Targeting is the actual keywords we selected. So as you can see, there's 3 products here that I selected to target. And then search terms is what the ads actually targeted. So as you can see, we have a column here that's product targets and then match product. And so if you are doing a broader campaign, you clicked expanded, or your keyword campaign has broad and phrase, then you will have your main targets, of course. But because it's phrase and broad, it's going to find more things. And that's what's going to come up under the match product. And so as you can see, the 3 books that I had selected under targeting are right here. I'm probably going to blur this out so you might not really be able to see it. And then it has a bunch of other targets here. And so if you want to make more sense of this data, we simply go over to our columns over here. You can customize them again if you like under columns. But all we're going to do is select the orders tab and then select it one more time. Now this is going to bring everything into the top. And so everything basically in the last 30 days is going to filter so we see the most sales at the top. And of course, you can always change this to, last month, this month, the last 65 days as well, just to get a bit more data. And so this is what you want to look at. And so the simple thing that I do with this is there's 2 things. One, I'm going to look at my best selling, my best performing keywords or targets. I'm going to see what these are here. I'm going to record them somewhere just so I keep track of them. So if I want to make a new campaign that just targets those, I can. What I can also do is adjust the bids. So if my ACoS is a bit higher than my break-even ACoS, I'm going to adjust the bid to be lower to maybe make it a bit more profitable. Or if the keyword itself or the product is wildly unprofitable, like this one here where it has 114% ACoS, I'm most likely just going to turn it off. I'm going to add this as a negative, and that's going to be under the match product here. So we can simply go into negative targeting and then take whatever this search term is, or the ASIN if it is a book, and add that in there. And so in this case, the ACoS for this campaign for the last 65 days is around 60%. But the important thing to note is that there's a bunch of keywords here that have a 100% ACoS, a 70% ACoS, and so it's skewing the average. And so it doesn't mean the campaign is wildly unprofitable. It just means that there are a few keywords that are skewing it. And that's why we can remove those. And this is how you optimize and refine your campaigns. But if you do have your very specific exact campaigns, you're not going to have this many search terms. This is just a wider, broader, expanded campaign. So I do expect it to have a bit higher of an ACoS. But the simpler we go with our campaigns, we just target our main products and keywords and we keep the targeting exact. We're not going to have a bunch of data to look at. We're only going to be looking at the main things we selected. It's going to be a lot easier to manage. And then only once those are performing and you figure out how to get your book selling and ranking, then you can expand into some more broader campaigns and dive into that. And I do have other videos on my more advanced Amazon ad strategies, so make sure you subscribe and check those out. So now if you're getting some good performance with your campaigns, what's next? What can we do moving forward just to optimize our ads and get as much from our book as we can? So the first thing is, of course, book reviews. Continue to gather book reviews on your book, because when we do push to 150 plus, then our conversion rate of our ads will continue to go up and they're only going to get more profitable. From there, if of course our ads are performing, we can increase the daily budget of them to spend more money, get more sales, and get even better ranking. And if you are having lots of clicks and sales with a campaign, it's just working well, feel free to make another campaign that's identical to that. There's thousands of people searching Amazon. There's so many impressions out there that we can get. So there's no problem with duplicating some campaigns that are working. It's just going to make sure that we're targeting those performing keywords and products as much as we can to get the most from them. And when you are having these simpler campaigns that are more targeted, it's going to be a lot more likely that they perform well and not just randomly finding different keywords and going too broad. And of course, scale with what's working and don't overspend on garbage campaigns. So don't forget to ask any questions below. I will definitely answer them for you. And of course, don't forget to download the SOP document just to have a step-by-step process for setting these campaigns up. And there's also going to be a place below in the description to sign up for my free email course. Just gonna walk you through my entire book creation process over 15 days, 1 email every day, including my Amazon ad strategy, and it's just gonna give you a really good playbook for your next book. That's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe for more no-nonsense Amazon KDP advice. We'll see you in the next one.